Attention passionate Dallas, Cowboys. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Dallas Cowboys' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Dallas Cowboys fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Dallas, Cowboys. Let's get to the news now. Folks, buckle up, because what we're about to discuss is shaping up to be one of the most intriguing and impactful moves in the NFL offseason, and it directly involves your Dallas Cowboys. This isn't just about a trade. It's about a strategic shift that could redefine the NFC East landscape and set the Cowboys up for a serious Super Bowl push. We're talking about the possibility of the Philadelphia Eagles, currently sitting at 5-3 but facing some cap crunch issues, trading away one of their key offensive weapons, Devonta Smith, in exchange for a conditional third-round pick in 2026. Yes, you heard that right, a third-round pick, but not just any pick, a conditional one, depending on future performance and other factors. And this isn't happening in a vacuum. It's driven by the Eagles' desire to focus their cap space on strengthening their defensive line, especially after allowing 40 yards per rush this season. Meanwhile, the Cowboys, sitting comfortably with around $31 million in cap space, are looking at this potential move as a golden opportunity to bolster their receiving core, which has been somewhat vulnerable, especially with CeeDee Lamb emerging as a true superstar and needing a complementary weapon. Let's take a moment to really understand what Devonta Smith brings to the table. Drafted in 2021 as the 10th overall pick, Smith has quickly established himself as one of the most explosive and reliable wide receivers in the league. Up until September 15, 2025, he's accumulated about 500 receiving yards, averaging nearly 9 yards per reception with 38 touchdowns. His production is impressive, especially considering his age, just 25 years old, and his ability to generate yards after the catch. In 2024, he was banged up with a hip injury. But even then, he managed to put up 52 catches for 680 yards in just 8 games, including a monster game against the Cowboys in Week 7, where he racked up 145 yards. His yards after catch are elite, with 340 YAC, and his separation stats are off the charts. 82%, which is top-tier league-wide, comparable to some of the best in the game like Stephon Diggs in his prime. He's also forced 16 missed tackles, making him not just a route runner but a true YAC weapon, a mismatch nightmare in the slot or outside, especially when paired with a player like Lamb. Now, why would the Eagles consider trading Smith? Well, part of it is cap-related. They're currently over the cap by about $9 million heading into 2026, and they're prioritizing their defensive line, having allowed an average of 40 yards per rush, which is a clear indication they need to shore up that front seven. Trading Smith, one of their most valuable offensive players, would free up significant cap space, money that could be directed toward bolstering their defensive front. On the other hand, the Cowboys see a golden ticket here. They're sitting with a robust $31 million in cap space, and after some struggles in the secondary, especially with Trevon Diggs injured and their coverage stats not looking great, acquiring a player of Smith's caliber makes perfect sense. Now let's dig into what this move could really mean for Dallas. First, it's about the offensive chemistry and explosiveness. CeeDee Lamb has already established himself as one of the premier receivers in the league with a PFF grade of 91.8, and he's on pace to surpass 200 yards in 2025. But pairing him with a player like Devonta Smith would be an absolute nightmare for defenses. Smith's ability to get open and generate yards after the catch, his YAC explosion, even with an injury in 2024, is comparable to some of the league's best. When you combine Lamb's big play ability with Smith's quickness and separation skills, the Cowboys' passing attack becomes even more dangerous, especially in critical situations like third down and in the red zone. We've seen how having two reliable and explosive receivers can take pressure off Dak Prescott, allowing him to make those big throws and reads that lead to touchdowns or crucial yardage gains. In fact, the partnership of Lamb and Smith could elevate the Cowboys' offensive efficiency significantly. Their combined yards could easily surpass 20 yards in a season if they stay healthy, and their synergy could lead to a boost in expected points added per play, or EPA, which is crucial for sustained success. With Smith's elite separation and his ability to win contested catches, he's in the top 23% in contested catch rate. He would become a true red zone and big play threat. Plus, his presence would help alleviate some of the pressure on the offensive line, especially given that the Cowboys' pass protection has been decent but not invincible, with 22 sacks in 2025 so far. The addition of a player like Smith would also elevate the red zone efficiency, pushing their scoring percentage from around 55% to over 64%, a huge boost in an area that often decides tight games. And let's not forget that this move also has a strategic impact on the Cowboys' overall offensive balance. Pollard averaging 4.4 yards per carry is a solid back, but having that explosive receiver duo would open up play action even more, which has already increased from 42% to nearly 49% with the team's evolving passing game. It creates mismatches across the field, forcing defenses to pick their poison. Defenses will have to account for both Lamb and Smith, which could create more opportunities for Pollard and other playmakers. This balanced defensive approach is vital, especially as the Cowboys look to make a deep playoff run and challenge NFC giants like the 49ers or Eagles themselves. Now, shifting gears to the big picture, how does this potential trade impact the Cowboys' Super Bowl run? Well, the odds are already looking better. Before any deal, the Cowboys had plus 8-0 odds of winning the Super Bowl. With the addition of a player like Smith, those odds could improve to around plus 4,500. That's a significant jump, and it echoes what we've seen with teams like the Bengals, who boosted their explosiveness with Higgins in 2024, gaining about 16% in offensive explosiveness. It's a clear indication that adding a player of Smith's caliber can elevate a team's chances, especially in a league where passing explosiveness and red zone efficiency are often the keys to championship success. Furthermore, this move might be a game-changer for the Cowboys' playoff prospects. By adding Smith, their chances of winning in the postseason increase by around 13%. Their probability of making the playoffs and winning more games in the NFC East, already a tough division, gets a serious boost, especially considering that Dallas's current record and performance have shown they're just a piece or two away from competing at the highest level. The NFC East, being historically one of the most competitive divisions, has often been a battleground of elite defenses and explosive offenses. Now, with this potential acquisition, the Cowboys could shift the power dynamics significantly, making them even more formidable and unpredictable. Looking at the wider NFL landscape, it's clear that this move also signals a shift in how teams value the explosiveness and reliability of their receiving core. The Cowboys are clearly prioritizing that explosive edge, especially in an era where passing offenses are paramount. If they can leverage Smith's elite YAC ability, separation, and contested catch prowess alongside Lamb's big play potential, they'll be difficult to contain. It's about creating a multi-dimensional attack that can adapt to any defense, and this trade, if it materializes, would be a bold step in that direction. In the end, this isn't just about a player swap. It's about a strategic move that could be a catalyst for Dallas to finally get back to the Super Bowl stage after a long drought. The franchise has been building steadily, adding pieces on both sides of the ball, but an acquisition like this could be the final piece needed to push them over the top. Imagine a playoff scenario where Dak Prescott has a pair of elite receivers, Lamb and Smith, working in tandem, creating mismatches all over the field, elevating the team's chances of making that deep postseason run and ultimately hoisting Lombardi number 6. That's the kind of vision that excites Cowboys fans right now, and that's what makes this potential trade so compelling. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest Dallas Cowboys news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Dallas Cowboys fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential move? Do you believe acquiring Devonta Smith could be the key to pushing this team into Super Bowl contention? Are you excited about the idea of Lamb and Smith working together, creating nightmares for defenses across the league? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because your opinion really matters to us, and it matters to the Cowboys. We want to know if you think this move will happen, and if so, how it will impact the team's chances this season and beyond. Remember, I'll be back soon with more updates, analysis, and insider info on the Dallas Cowboys, so stay tuned. The offseason is heating up, and the Cowboys are right in the middle of it, ready to make some waves. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Cowboys.